Hi guys, it is Kieran from RedDevilWeekly to give my brief pre-match thoughts ahead of United's trip up St James's Park on Saturday evening. 7 o'clock kickoff, I believe. Maybe it's 7:30, I'm not sure. But it's around that sort of time, which is a bit of an interesting time, especially on a Saturday. Don't usually get many night kickoffs, but going to be an absolute firecracker. No doubt about it. Manchester United travelling up St James's Park under the lights, unbelievable atmosphere. Both teams having fairly similar seasons, very close to each other in the table. It's not going to be one to miss, and I'm sure the neutrals will enjoy it. Not sure many United fans or Newcastle United fans would or are going to enjoy it, but we'll see. We'll let the best team win. Of course, that is Manchester United, as you know on this channel. But anyway, if you haven't already, please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Really enjoy reading what you guys have to say, so please do leave your thoughts in the comment section. And as always, if you do enjoy the content, feel free to hit that like button. It lets me know if you enjoyed it, so if you did enjoy it, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new, of course, as well, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Let's talk about Newcastle, and as I said, very close to us in the table, one place behind us. So this is the craziest thing. I looked at the table, and you guys can look at it as well if you don't believe me. Newcastle are 1 point behind us, which means they're one place behind us in 7th, but they've actually nearly doubled our goal tally. I think they've got 31 goals, and we've got 16 goals, and they've conceded 2 less than us. We've got 16 conceded, and they've conceded 14, so they've actually got a plus 17 goal difference, and we've got a 0 goal difference, and yet they're one place behind us. That is just another chapter in how insane this Premier League season is, and how insane our season is. I can't believe we're in 6th place considering the amount of times we've lost this season and how poor we've been. But we're talking about Newcastle at the moment, and the biggest story really, apart from the fact they got robbed in Paris on Tuesday night, I think it was. I mean, listen, I'm not a massive fan of Newcastle. I'm not a fan of Newcastle. But even I, as a football fan, have to sit back and say they got absolutely robbed. Absolutely robbed. Balaclava, everything. Absolutely robbed, mate. Honestly, one of the worst decisions I've seen in a long time. And a very frustrating decision, I'm sure, for Newcastle and their players, who will be obviously fired up. Again, it's going to be a similar situation to how we went to Goodison Park. A team that's going to be out for blood. They'll be out for, not revenge, because it wasn't us that did anything to them, but they'll be out to kind of put right what they felt went wrong in midweek, and they'll have a lot of pent-up anger and motivation. They would have had that, of course, anyway with Man United coming to St James's Park, but they're going to have a bit of extra motivation and just that bit of extra oomph and anger whenever they're playing, which is something that we find difficult to deal with, as with evidence with our trip to Istanbul. But I digress. And obviously the biggest thing with Newcastle is the injuries. They've got a huge injury list. I think about 10 or 11 players are currently out for Newcastle. Big players as well. Sven Botman, who I think is a high-quality centre-back, is ruled out for the game. Callum Wilson, obviously not available. You look at players like Jacob Murphy and Joe Willock as well, ruled out. I think Sean Longstaff. So a very hefty list of injuries. And as a Man United fan, of course, we've had a lot of injuries, so I can definitely sympathise with their situation. But it's somewhat down to the reality of playing kind of Tuesday, Saturday football. You know, this is what happens when you qualify for these big, European tournaments, is your schedule just completely goes out of control, especially when you're trying to juggle all 4 competitions in one season. It's so difficult, and this is where you need your squad depth. But you know what? Newcastle, they've got a lot of money. They spent money on their squad, and they can still field a decent team, as was the case against Chelsea. They absolutely beat them off the park at St James's Park, a 4-1 win against Chelsea, very comprehensive. Anthony Gordon was one of the stars in that game. Just, a sensational home performance, which we've seen from Newcastle in the last couple of years. They make St James's Park a real fortress, and of course their fans are incredible. It's going to be so difficult to go there and get a result. Liverpool managed it. Liverpool did manage it, which is something that we've got to try and take from. I don't like saying that, but to be fair, Liverpool had the blueprint. Somehow they managed to get a win after being 1-0 down and being down to 10 men. Crazy result, really. But yeah, Newcastle, very difficult side. A ground that we've got a very bad record at as well. I think Newcastle have beaten us maybe the last couple times we've gone to St James's Park. The last time we won there was actually, I think it was when there was no fans. We won 4-1, I think. So it's been a while. It's been a while. And it's going to be very, very difficult indeed. But let's talk a bit about Manchester United, of course. Midweek calamity, 3-3 draw in Istanbul. Again, serving up treats for the neutral, not so much for our own fans. And it's, again, another big test for us going to St James's Park. 3 games within 6 days with Everton as well that have required us to go away from home and soak up a very hostile atmosphere. And that is something which, against Everton, we passed it with flying colours. Against Galatasaray, we didn't exactly pass it with flying colours, to say the least. And now we're going to St James's Park. So it feels like it might be 1 in all 3 columns. 1 win, 1 draw, and potentially 1 loss. I don't like saying it, but I don't have a good feeling, I'll be honest with you. But in terms of positives, Kobbie Mainoo in the last 2 games, starting against Everton and the cameo he had against Galatasaray. At 18 years old, showing again why he's been chosen and given this opportunity by Erik ten Hag. So composed on the ball, so just so watchful, really good with the quality of passing and the choices, the pass selection as well. Someone who's got a really, really bright future if he continues to work hard. But we don't want to get carried away too much yet. But he obviously is a massive positive. And, you know, actually our injury crisis isn't as bad as it once was. Luke Shaw has come back in the last few days, played Everton and Galatasaray now as well. So, you know, we've got good, you know, fairly decent, you know, fairly good squad. It's just whether we can hold out. Whether we can hold out in these games and really put on a professional performance. Alejandro Garnacho, of course, scored 2 in his last 2. He's in good form as well, which is very nice to see. And the biggest thing I want to see is Rasmus Højlund getting on the score sheet. That's the biggest thing, man. He hasn't got a Premier League goal yet. It's ridiculous. He's one of the top goal scorers in the Champions League, but no Premier League goal as of yet. I want to see him break his duck. So that's what I want to see from this game, other than a Manchester United win. I'm not going to predict the starting 11 because I don't want to waste any more of your time. We're going to get onto the score prediction. And I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I think we've definitely improved going forward in the last couple of games. Before the international break, we were kind of scraping 1-0 wins, not playing very well. So far, since the international break, we've been fairly decent going forward. Yes, we've missed a few big chances, but we've been fairly decent going forward. Defensively, we've still been quite open, and that is the biggest worry for me. So I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. I'm going 2-2. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But that's all, guys. That's all my thoughts ahead of tomorrow night's game. As I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe if you want. But anyway, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in a bit. Cheers.